Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Rahul Anuhal, COO of Curica.com. A very warm welcome to all of you. I hope you're having a great Saturday. And today we'll be talking on a very important topic which has been asked by many people about sun protection and sunscreen. So, in this, we are going to have with us a very special guest with us, Dr. and Global Forums. So, with all your blessings and good wishes, Curica has been growing very fast. And recently, we have started our own store in Bangalore. So, our Curica store location is in 12th Main, Bangalore. And let us know your feedback. Dr. Shanmuga has joined us. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Shanmuga Priya. Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Doctor, we are going to cover the topic of sun protection and sunscreen today, which is a very important topic. And a lot of people these days have got questions around sun protection. I mean, they've got pigmented skin, they've got high level of melanin, and they've got some skin issues just because they are exposed to more sunlight. So before we start this topic, would you like to share a few words on your idea about sun protection and sunscreen?
Yeah, recently even my patients, their awareness has increased because all kinds of patients ask about sunscreen, like how to choose, and some are already on using that and they want to know like is it enough or they should go for a better formulation. So they do have lots of doubts regarding this, and some also have this idea that that is only for post procedures or those for people who have some diseases which can get aggravated by sunscreens. But sunscreen for all. It's not limited to a specific set of people. So yeah, this video would be better to just give you of what to expect from a sunscreen, how to choose one.
Right. So let's hop on to the questions that we have received from our listeners regarding this topic. So the first question is, what is the benefit of wearing sunscreen every day?
So the main use of sunscreen is shielding us from the UV rays from the sun. So yes, we are exposed to sun day in and day out all days. So even during summer or winter, the season doesn't matter. So the benefit would be it can be limited to prevention of pigmentation, tanning, and aging, but it is also has it prevents us from the harmful rays, which can has a risk of promoting skin cancer growths, and also some kinds of contact dermatitis, allergic dermatitis. People who are on certain medications definitely need sunscreen because they are more prone for these kind of allergies. So sunscreen would benefit all.
Right. So all age groups, all genders should use sunscreen, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Out in the sun?
Yes.
Is it important to wear hat or a cap or sunglasses? Is it very important for protection of your skin?
Because sunscreens, like even though many people do use, the recommended amount is actually not used widely. Most people use it and don't touch so liberally. And even if they do use it diligently, still they would benefit from an extra layer of protection in the form of an umbrella, a hat, or an clothing which can protect us from all kinds of they can block all kinds of rays.
Understood. So it will protect us from the UV lights also,
Yeah.
right? Which can also cause harm to the skin and also to our cells, body cells also. So burns.
Yes.
What are the causes of tanning and sunburn?
Yeah. So we see sun as just we feel it as heat and we light, but the sun's rays are more than that. They have spectrums, they have UV rays, visible rays, and infrared rays like that. So sunscreens uses more with the
Hmm.
ultraviolet rays, which are not visible. So there are two
Hmm.
kinds of ultraviolet rays we have. Mostly it is
Hmm.
UVA and UVB.
Hmm.
So both can cause pigmentation, but burning is more
Hmm.
by UVB. So B stands for a so sun UVB
Okay.
is more can cause sunburns, whereas UVA can cause aging and tanning. So both can cause pigmentation.
Okay. And see, typically a lot of youngsters or people who are working, they are very scared of going in sun, right? They get a lot of tanning. So any specific time of the day when you feel that the tanning is higher, or they can try to protect during some other times of the day?
Yes, UV rays, the amount which reaches us, the percentage, everything differs depending on the area where we are in, the altitude where we are in, the time of the day especially. So
Hmm.
by noon, especially by 10 to 3, but to be more specific, it would be about 11 to 2, where the UV rays would be at its peak when the distance between sun and earth is less. The UV rays reaches us more. So that time, maybe people who are prone to tanning, they can plan their activities avoiding that period of time.
Understood. And we have a question coming in from a listener, doctor, who says that, ma'am, I have dark and hard ankle balls. Now, please suggest something to remove this tanning in his ankle.
Okay, so ankle tanning is not just limited to sun exposure. It's more of a friction
Hmm.
related thing. So in Indians where we are used to sitting on the floor and this area can get more friction. So it can get not just pigmented but also rough. So instead of just skin
Understood.
lightening, you would also need some creams to decrease the thickness, some good exfoliating moisturizers and exfoliating creams.
So, another question which I think a lot of people have is that, does exposure to sun can also cause skin cancer?
Yeah, it can. It is more common in people with fair skin, like that, like in the Western countries, it's very common. Here, it's not that common. We do see people with skin cancers now and then, and UV rays is one very important factor which can even start the process, and it can also aggravate the process of formation of skin cancers.
We can use.
Yes.
So, like, so what can one do to avoid tanning in the sun? Like, they have to avoid going to the sun, or they can use any other remedy, like using some kind of special cream or
Uh,
ointment.
we can avoid going to the sun because sun has some benefits too. They can religiously use sunscreens along with other form of physical protection like hats and maybe umbrellas and such. But some amount of tanning will occur even with sunscreen. That the thing is because tanning is there are two types of tanning. There is an immediate darkening and there is delayed tanning. Tanning we are more concerned
Hmm.
about delayed tanning because the immediate
Hmm.
tanning is just oxidative pigment of our skin. So it
Hmm.
comes, it is seen immediately after coming sun, like within half an hour, but it kind of fades the same day. So we are not
Hmm.
very worried about the immediate tanning. So sunscreen, even with sunscreen, some amount of tanning, this kind of tanning can occur. But the delayed tanning, which is more of a concern in pigmentation, that can be prevented with sunscreens. And
Okay.
delayed protection can avoid this delayed tanning, which will be more persistent, and that is what concerns people most.
Okay. And the same guest has come back to us with his question again, and he seems to want to have a understanding on. Please give me some suggestion to remove black and hard skin off on my ankle. Like he
Yeah.
wants to remove tanning from his ankle. So what does he need to do? Any
Uh,
treatment or any?
Know their age, because
Okay.
you need to assess the skin. The reason I'm saying the friction, that is one reason for hardening and tanning, but there could also be other reasons. Because for people who
And
stand for times, they have some venous blood pooling there, so that can also cause some pigmentation and hardening.
hmm,
So for that, the treatment is totally different. So these two are the common causes of pigmentation near ankles. So we need to assess that.
right, right. So now the next question which our listeners want to know is, what kind of a sunscreen should they use depending on their skin type?
By skin type, if you mean this, whether they have oily skin, dry skin,
And
combination.
dry, oily, or maybe having some skin having some rashes, acne, some other concerns.
So, thankfully, in this period, we have like a wide variety of formulations available, not like before. Because previously, sunscreen, if you think of sunscreen, people will relate it to either a white cast left on the skin or it would be very heavy and oily to wear during the day. So that would be the most reason why people would avoid sunscreens altogether. But now that is not the case now because we have a wide variety of formulations now which can suit every skin type. We have very lightweight moisturizing sunscreens for people who don't want a different moisturizer sunscreen to shorten their routine. They can go for a sunscreen with moisturizer. For people with acne prone skin, we have two options in the form of lightweight gels, or we also have a matte sunscreens which are silicone based. So it doesn't look oily on the skin, and it also gives, and we also have some kind of tinted sunscreen which gives some even coverage too. And specifically people with sensitivities or a more of a redness prone skin, they can go for physical sunscreens. So
Mhm.
sunscreens, there are sunscreens purely which contain physical filters. That is, they just reflect the sun rays instead of reacting with it. So they will cause less kind of skin irritation. So people with irritations and sensitivities can go for physical sunscreens. Those with acne prone skin can go for lightweight moisturizing sunscreens or matte sunscreens.
Okay. Uh, right. So, any particular ingredient that you want them to look for while choosing their sunscreen?
Physical sunscreen usually comes as previously physical sunscreens used to be very difficult to use alone because they would leave a very thick white cast which will not be acceptable to anyone. But now it's not the case. We have a technology called microfining or nanofining of nano size particles of the sunscreens. So they spread well and they do not leave this white cast. So people looking for physical sunscreen can go for this nano, zinc, and titanium based sunscreens. Whereas combination sunscreen, a broad spectrum sunscreen, we have newer ingredients like tinosorbium and yes, which are very latest because people previously we used to have derivatives of PABA and benzones. Some people, especially in the West, they have stopped using those kind of ingredients because they have, though it's not exactly proven, they have more risk of skin penetration and irritations. Now we have newer ingredients which do not cause that kind of reactions.
Okay. Right. So, ma'am, what should a user, uh, try to find in terms of the UVA and UVB labels while trying to choose his sunscreen? What does he need to know about?
So
about that?
People are familiar with SPF, that is there, because all people, when they ask them what sunscreen they use, even though they don't have any idea about ingredients and anything, the first thing they will say is, yes, I'm using a sunscreen which has SPF more than 70, so I'm good to go. I'm using a very
Yeah.
potent sunscreen, but that is not the case, because SPF just measures protection from UVB. It is just limited to from UV, but we need a protection from both UVA and E, especially UVA. We want to prevent, if you're looking for sunscreens to delay your aging process or delay tanning, so UVA protection is more important. So for that, we'll also need to look for, now there's a rating for that called PA rating, where we get it as plus, 2 plus, 3 plus, and 4 plus and such. So by sunscreen labels, I would look for three things. First would be SPF, the next would be the PA rating, and next would be the substantivity. That is, they would mention it as either waterproof, water resistant, sweat-proof, like that. So that denotes like how long the sunscreen can stay on your skin, even if obviously, or even if you are inside water, if you are swimming. So these are the three things, labels to look for in a sunscreen. Other than ingredients, these three labels would be what you should look for. And I would say don't go just the number of SPF, because after about 30 to 50, it doesn't make sense. Because with 30, you get more than 98% protection. After that, it just increases in decimals. So SPF 30 would be comfortable to use, and it would be good.
Understood. Understood. So you need to see the PA factor also, which is very important for UVA, right?
Yeah.
So what ideally what it should be, like we call it like SPF, you said should be 30 plus. Then what about PA?
PA can be above 3 plus, actually.
3 plus. Okay. Okay. Understood. Okay. So what sort of skin care routine, summer skin care routine should people follow to save their skin from the sun?
Any skincare routine starts with cleansing, and a basic skincare routine always has cleansing, then moisturizing and sunscreens. So by summer, I would go for a very lightweight moisturizer, and then on top of that, a sunscreen. So during the day, that would be good. And during the night, maybe they can wash it off and then again use moisturizer. And a cream containing some antioxidants. It could either be plant extracts, vitamin C, vitamin E, and such, because they can repair whatever kind of UV damage or other kind of damage you had during the day.
Right, right. So, guys who are listening to us and following us, please do ask your questions in the comment section below. We will take them up in this session. In case if this session is over and you have any questions, you can still drop down in the comment section below, and we will take them up with the doctor and reply to you as soon as possible. Right. And to those who follow us on Cureka, who visit Cureka website, you, first of all, thank you very much. And then you have got a very special WhatsApp platform there, which you can use to ask any questions that you have around your health, well-being, about your daily nutrition, about your baby care, maternity care, any sort of question you have around your healthcare needs, please do ask us, and our team will get back to you by consulting with doctors absolutely free of cost. Right. If you want to know any remedies for skincare condition, you want to know any product recommendations, our doctors are available for you, and my team of experts will speak to the doctors and come back with your queries within very few hours. So do check out WhatsApp platform and use it for your best benefit. Yeah, doctor. So okay. So we've understood like what kind of skincare routine we want. Next is, what is the difference between chemical and physical sunscreen, doctor?
Yeah, the moment you say chemical, now it's like a very taboo word it has become, because people directly relate it to something harmful. But that is not. Chemical sunscreen is just how the way they act because of
Mm.
they act because they have this chemical structure which allows the
Mm.
molecule to absorb this UV rays
Mm.
and then convert it
Mm.
into this low energy rays. So
Mm.
by virtue of those chemical molecule, it absorbs and converts. So that those are
Mm.
chemical sunscreen. Physical sunscreen is
Mm.
just like a layer on top of skin. So they do not absorb UV rays, but they just reflect or scatter this UV rays. So
Okay.
mostly,
So which one is preferred? Who should use what, doctor?
yeah, someone is asking safe sunscreen for during pregnancy too, I think.
Mm.
So physical
Yeah.
sunscreen, the main advantages is the irritation part, all these concerns regarding absorption of sunscreens, causing skin irritations, other harmful systemic effects that is not there with physical sunscreens. Previously, it was not used much because of this that being heavy and white, but since now we have this nano zinc that is not there,
Mm.
so physical sunscreen can is preferable for. I use it preferably for children for pregnancy.
Mm.
It's better to go for physical sunscreens and even for children because
Okay.
the children's skin is very permeable, not like adults. So we don't have separate studies of how this sunscreen goes inside skin, even though there is no studies saying that sunscreen can get absorbed into your skin. It just stays on top of skin. There is no absorption, so that is why there are no harmful effects of that. But still, by children, we have to be extra cautious. So I would prefer physical sunscreen for them. And
Okay.
chemical sunscreens are more aesthetically elegant. They are more moisturizing, hydrating. So people, if you looking for hydrating sunscreens, lightweight sunscreens, the physical sunscreens would fit their needs. Sorry,
And
chemical
same
sunscreen.
would go for and the same would go for expecting mom, doctor.
Yes,
Hydrating
definitely.
sunscreen.
Better choose physical sunscreen. Whereas that's
Hmm.
what those looking for lightweight formulations, chemical sunscreens would be better.
Okay. 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 And if, for example, you're going to visit a place which is, having different climatic conditions than yours currently, and it's going to have a more sun exposure and it's having more severe sun rays and sunlight. What do you need to pack your bags with to save yourself?
Sunscreen, the common sunscreen we have, which have more than 30 and 3 PA 3 plus, that should cover for
Hmm.
any area.
Okay.
Because it kind of gives you 98% protection from UVB and almost near the same protection from UVA. So that should be good
Okay.
to go for any kind of extreme weathers. But people, more than weather changes, people going to places with higher altitude,
Yeah.
they will need a more stringent protection because
Hmm.
I can say like when I go for this to see patients in Kodaikanal, there the
Hmm.
climate used to be very mild and they don't feel the need to use sunscreen because it's very cool and stuff. But the
Hmm.
sun UV rays penetrate even more there. I used to see lot of
Correct.
sun-related dermatosis there, and it'd be very
Hmm.
tough. Patients saying that this is because of sun exposure. And they were like,
Hmm.
where is the sun? It's very cloudy for us. It's very cool.
Hmm.
So people traveling to higher altitudes, one thing, and people going to places like where there is snow, sand, and water. These are things which can reflect UV rays and then increase its concentration. So those
Correct.
kind of places, you have to use a more than SPF. You have to use sunscreens which can withstand your sweat and the more waterproof sunscreens, and you can reapply sunscreens after maybe 3 to 4 hours.
Understood. So I think Selvam has asked this question, which says that which sunscreen is safe to use during pregnancy? Can you share some ingredients that something special that need to be there
Pure
for?
sunscreens nowadays, we have pure physical sunscreens where the ingredients be mostly just
Hmm.
around 25% or some percentage
Hmm.
of pure nano zinc. So that will be the only ingredient there, along with some stabilizers. Other than that, there won't be much ingredients in pure physical sunscreens. So all kinds of brands now coming out. Previously, they have this range of sunscreens. All brands have now come out with pure physical sunscreen too. So you can choose that.
Okay, okay. So, coming back to your earlier thing when you were discussing about in high altitude, people tend not to use a sunscreen. I mean, there is a common myth which is going around that you need to be directly exposed to sun or having direct sunlight. Only then you should be using sunscreen. But is there any other people like today's times? A lot of people work in the IT sector, and they're exposed to a lot of monitor screens. Do you think they should also use sunscreen?
Yeah, we do
Is
have
there any?
sunscreen now. With have like we have sunscreen specifically for blue light now, because the effect of blue light because that is not more like a UV ray, no falls more on the visible light spectrum. But still, the effect of blue light on skin, whether it's damages like UV rays and whether it can accelerate aging or tanning, that has not been studied fully, but they do seem to penetrate skin. So since more than ever before, we are more exposed to that specifically because of devices. So we like how they have come out with spectacles with blue light filters. Now we have sunscreens which have that too. They mostly have, in addition to the other ingredients, they'll have ingredients called antioxidants, which can because when light penetrates, what it does to skin is it just reacts with the molecules of skin and produces some free radicals. So these free radicals is what finally causing this damage and aging. So antioxidants just kind of neutralize this free radicals. So now we have sunscreens with added antioxidants, which we don't have specific blue light filters, but we have sunscreen with added antioxidants, which can give this kind of protection.
Understood, doctor. And we have a question from Selvam who says that when should children start using sunscreen? At what age?
I don't give blanket sunscreen advice to all children because they need some amount of sun exposure, and nowadays children are not that much exposed to sun like before. They go to school, they just the travel part, then they stay there, and only they don't have that much of outdoor activity. So we don't give blanket sun protection to children unless they have a skin condition which gets aggravated by use by sunlight. But for children who are engaged in sports activities, for children who are going on kind of vacations where they are going to
Checking
be multiple times
or
more
something.
exposed to
Yeah.
sun than their usual,
Yeah.
and they are prone for burns and sunburns and irritation. So that is the kind of special conditions where we give sunscreens, and also if they have some skin conditions, allergies which can get aggravated by sun. And even then, I prefer to go with physical sunscreens there because below 6 months, it is mandatory you should not use sunscreen because there is no sunscreen which has been cleared for use for children less than 6 months. I would keep the bar at 1 year. So less than 1 year, mostly, I don't think we should go for other forms of protection like a blanket or a hat, but we can skip the sunscreen.
But
After
children, like after a certain age, doctor, can you start using like after 2 to 3 years or more than that?
You can use physical sunscreens, but that is for kids who are going to have more sun exposure.
Okay, more sun exposure. Okay, understood. Like we have a question from Mr. Mohan, I believe. He says that which sunscreen is better for sports? Specifically, he asked for cricket.
Yeah, for sports, we'll need a sunscreen which is going to withstand the sweat. So so SPF would be, I prefer about 30 to 50 preferably, and then A 3, 4 plus. That is the higher you can go for case of in terms of protection against UV and UVB. But you should also look for sunscreens which are waterproof. That means waterproof sunscreen is a sunscreen which can withstand, even if you're inside water, it can withstand it can stay in your skin for about more than about 2 hours, like 80 minutes can stay. So it can definitely withstand sweating more than other sunscreens. So you should go for sunscreens with waterproof labels on them.
Waterproof.
And you can also go
labels.
for pure physical sunscreens.
Understood. So we've got a question from a listener who says, "Hi, ma'am, I have acne and pore. Can I use sunscreen or else can I use other lotion?"
Yeah, acne skin definitely can use sunscreen and should use sunscreen because you have this red irritated acne lesions, and then when they subside, they are going to get pigmented. So sun exposure is going to increase that pigmentation. So acne prone skin definitely needs sunscreen, but the choice, like what kind of sunscreen they should make, we have two options for them. Either we have an light hydrating sunscreens. So they are a blend of moisturizer and sunscreens, and they are lightweight. So they can use that. There are gel-based sunscreens because creams are the stuff which are very heavy. Creams, by their nature, to make a cream, you'll have to add more oil to them. So by the
Understood.
they have more oil content, so they can clog the pores. So you'll have to go for lotion-based or gel-based sunscreen, or you can also go for a physical sunscreen if you want a more matte effect. And yeah, that would be it.
And we've got a question from, I believe, Ramya, who says, "Is there any alternative for sunscreen?"
A natural alternative, if they're asking, that would be like if, like I said before, sun damage is basically by forming free radicals. So it just forms oxidant-free radical molecule, and it all kinds of negative effects which we get from UV rays because of that. So if we have a good antioxidant level against that, even if this UV rays penetrate us, and even if we do get some kind of damage, these antioxidants can repair it by the end of the day. So, systemically, oral, they can go for high antioxidants intake, either in the form of diet or in the form of supplements like vitamin A, vitamin C. Then we have great antioxidant extracts like green tea extracts, lycopene, pomegranate extract. We have many kind of extracts now. Even the natural things would be high fruits, colored fruits and vegetables, and then even turmeric that has proven to have some antioxidant effect. And by skin topically also we have antioxidant creams in the form of vitamin C serums, which I prefer people use below the sunscreen. First vitamin C and then on top sunscreen. But if someone wants to skip sunscreen altogether and they are not very much exposed to sun, then they can go for vitamin C serums and antioxidant creams too. But people who are going to be there in sun for a significant period of time, that will not be a good alternative.
Great, wonderful. Yeah. So I believe we've answered a lot of questions. And guys, if you have any more questions for us, please do mention in the comment section below. We will get in touch with Dr. Shanmuga Priya and come back to you for your answers. Thank you so much, Dr. Shanmuga. It has been a great insights from you. I believe a lot of people would have benefited from this session. And we are definitely going to see a much better sun protection regime from all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Take care, guys. And if you have got any question around your healthcare needs, you can visit www.curated.com. I am Rahul Nanuhal, CEO of curated.com. You can pass on your questions to our WhatsApp platform and we will answer them within a few time. Thank you so much and have a good day, everyone. Take care. Take care, ma'am.
Yeah.